Hello, my name is Kenmo Thierry, and today we're going to talk about the first men who lives in Africa. Imagine for a moment that we could travel back in time, not just 100 years or even 1,000, but millions of years. We would leave behind our bustling cities, our humming computers, and our familiar world. Our journey would take us to a place of vast, open landscapes, a world bathed in the warm glow of an ancient sun. This is Africa, but an Africa unlike any we know today. It is a land teeming with creatures long since vanished, ruled by the raw, untamed forces of nature. Here, amidst the sweeping savannas and dense forests, an extraordinary story is about to unfold. Our time machine lands softly on a grassy plain. The air is clean and filled with the sounds of the wild. In the distance, a herd of enormous, long-tusked elephants. As we peer through the tall grasses, we see them. They are not quite apes and not quite like us either. These are the early hominins, our most distant relatives. They look different from the monkeys in the trees. The most incredible thing, they are walking on two legs. This is a monumental change, a revolutionary step. Standing upright allows them to see over the tall grass, to spot danger from afar, to spot food. It also frees up their hands. Hands that were once used for walking can now be used for other things. To carry food, to hold their young, to make tools. This simple act of standing tall is the first great leap on the path to becoming human. These early ancestors, like the famous Australopithecus, were still connected to the world of the apes. They were relatively small. At night, they might have climbed into trees for safety away from prowling predators like the saber-toothed cat. But during the day, they roamed the land, foraging for whatever food they could find. Their brains were larger than those of apes, allowing them to think in more complex ways. What was daily life like for these first humans? It was a life lived in close harmony with nature, a constant search for food, water, and safety. They did not have farms or supermarkets. They were hunter-gatherers. They spent their days searching for things to eat. The women likely focused on gathering, using their deep knowledge of the land to find edible plants, roots, berries, nuts. They knew which fruits were sweet, which roots were nutritious, and which plants were poisonous. This skill provided a reliable source of food for the group. The men often took on hunting or scavenging. Hunting large animals with simple stone tools was difficult and dangerous. More often, they were opportunistic. They watched the skies for vultures circling. Then they would move in, use tools and numbers to scare predators away, and scavenge leftover meat. Working together was essential. A single human was vulnerable, but a cooperating group could achieve much more. They learned to share food. Sometimes the ancient past gives us a gift, a window that allows us to see our ancestors with astonishing clarity. One of the most famous of these gifts is Lucy. In 1974, in the dusty hills of Ethiopia, paleontologists made an extraordinary discovery. They found the fossilized skeleton of an ancient hominin, a female who lived over 3 million years ago. She was remarkably complete, with about 40% of her bones preserved. They named her Lucy. She was a member of the species Australopithecus afarensis, and she has told us so much about our origins. Her skeleton, particularly her pelvis and leg bones, proved without a doubt that she walked upright on two legs. Lucy was small, perhaps only a little over a meter tall, with long arms and a small brain. Yet she was one of us, a distant grandmother on our vast family tree. Another breathtaking discovery was made not far away, in Tanzania. In 1978, scientists stumbled upon a set of fossilized footprints preserved in volcanic ash that had fallen 3.6 million years ago. These were the Laetoli footprints. What they show is truly magical. They capture a moment in time, a snapshot of our ancestors' lives. The tracks were left by 3 individuals, walking together across a damp plain of ash. Perhaps it was a family, a father, a mother, and a child, walking together millions of years ago. These footprints are profoundly moving. When we put all of these discoveries together, the ancient fossils like Lucy, the remarkable footprints at Laetoli, and the countless stone tools unearthed from the soil, a clear picture emerges. The evidence is overwhelming. It all points to one place. Africa is, without a doubt, the cradle of humankind. This is where our story began. It was on this continent that our ancestors first stood up and walked on two legs, Every single person alive today, no matter where they live or what they look like, can trace their ancestry back to these African pioneers. The journey from that ancient world to this one has been long and extraordinary, but the path began there, with those first human steps on African soil, the cradle that nurtured us all.